Hello everyone, I hope you're well, and thank you for joining me in another Nina Williams In Depth. I'm a friendly tree, and today I want to talk about Nina's helping hand. Okay, so let's make sure the settings are all as we want. So far so good. We can turn the health gauge off because we've got the player attack info. Turn opponent attack info off, and we'll keep only our frame data. Well, we'll keep only our frame data on. That's good. So helping hand. People might be thinking, what's Nina's helping hand? That's not a move people talk about very often, and I've come across a lot of people that didn't even know it existed. It is Nina's while rising or while standing back one. And this is a funny move, and a lot of people have trouble finding a use for this move, I suppose. So I hope you all get a lot of value from this video. So the move, while standing back one, you have to start from crouching, and as you're standing up, you press back and one. You can hold the back, so you can go from down back and let go of the down and press 1, and that's the move. You can see it's a mid, it's a bit of a goofy animation. I don't really know how to describe it beyond an upward chop. Okay, but properties. You can see startup frames 14 to 15, so it's got 2 active frames, 14 frames startup. Plus 6 on hit. If I'm remembering correctly, it is minus 5 on block. Yep, minus 5 on block. And damage, it does 13 damage. So that doesn't sound too great. On normal hit, plus 6, and it knocks them a fair way back. So, for example, if we set them to backdash, you can do a lot of things, but they can backdash a lot too. Actually, not that bad. But you're not going to be doing a down forward 3. But yeah, so it's good frame advantage, but not as rewarding as you may want in that scenario. Range wise, so if we're at about range 2, which is right where we are now, it's going to connect. If we go just past that, so range 2.1, it doesn't work. 2.05 if we can get there. Yeah, it's pretty much a range 2. I wouldn't use it past range 2, which is about starting. Yeah, that's about the tip of when you want to use it. And the most important thing about this move is that it's a counter hit launcher. So while it's not that good on normal hit, on counter hit, you get a full combo, doing whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but you know. So that's pretty much the biggest use for this move, is the fact that it's got good counter hit properties. Let's also talk about the tracking. So if we get them on sidestep left, you're going to notice that this will whiff. So I'm going to use down 2 because it's neutral on hit. Sidestep left, it will not track. Sidestep right, it will follow. So that tells us that it tracks to Nina's weak side, and that fits with the normal properties. Sorry, we know side step works, so side walk right, it'll also catch. So it covers Nina's weak side, which can be very valuable to know, and should you ever come across a situation where the opponent is crouched and you've got frame advantage, such as maybe a low they've performed, for the equivalent of something like Nina's down 3 if the opponent... no, you need one that forces you to crouch. I don't know. Anyway, if you get a scenario where you're crouching and the opponent's forced crouch, and you're at frame advantage, and they can, if they're forced crouching, they can only sidestep up, and the sidestep up is sidestep right for them, then it's pretty much covering your bases. So it's a good option there. Alright, so I think that's everything we need to go about with the properties of this move, and I think the most fun part, of course, is going to be the application. So let's get to it. So I said at the beginning of this video that this is a move that I've had a couple of people come to me not even knowing it existed or not knowing the input, and a big part of that is because it's a pretty bizarre input for Tekken, and it's not a move that people see a lot in gameplay. So that brings us to the point of how do we use it? Well, unfortunately there aren't incredible uses for this move, and the uses are kind of limited. But I can be pretty creative here, and I can show you a few that I'm pretty confident other people aren't using, and they will find value in putting into their game plan. Considering it's a safe 14 frame mid counter hit launcher that follows to Nina's weak side, you can definitely see how it has its place. So, where do we start? The most common one, as I was trying to allude to before, is if you get to a situation where you're crouching and you're in frame advantage, you can use it to frame trap. So, should we go record? Before I record actually, so I mentioned down 2 is neutral, but on counter hit down 2 is +5. So we're crouching, we're in that perfect position, +5, meaning nothing can interrupt the 14 frame. Or no 10 frame jab, they have to do something faster than 10 frames, which very few characters can access instantly. So if we do this, you will see I can backdash it, and it won't work. Well, I can't avoid it. Sidestep left because of the frame advantage won't work. Sidestep right because of the frame advantage won't work. So I'm kind of limited. Oh, what about sidewalk left? Sorry. You can sidewalk left. That's about all you can do there. So this is where it becomes a bit more of a threatening situation. If you're at that +5 frame advantage, if I press anything, I get counter hit launched. I mean, I can attack reverse. Oh, can I? Hold on. Now am I learning something new? No, there we go. I was just a misinput. I was like, no, surely you can attack reverse it. But any conventional attack I do, I'll get caught. And it floats like that, so yeah. I can't even try and evade it by jumping or anything. So it's pretty threatening in that situation. Like I said with limited uses though, if you get a counter to that, if you know it's going to be countered, you've got no real way to tell. You can probably get the follow-up there. So, yeah. But it definitely has its uses, and even on normal hits, if you know someone's going to try and challenge with a slow button, or if they're going to wait, afraid of what you're going to do, and then challenge, you can then use while standing back 1. Okay, so that situation is lovely, isn't it? If you could get +5 on crouch, recovering crouching, and then you've got your situation. Well, how do we do that? Well, do you know what? Nina has a couple of generic tools and a couple of other tools that do get her into this situation that we can use, such as her down 1. +6 force crouch. So that there on hit, we've got a frame trap. What about down 1 too? +5. So if you use that as a turn stealer, you've got an instant frame trap into a safe counter hit launcher there. So that's a good way that you can use it in your game. If you're applying this move into your game at any point, you can use it. Or just the down 1. Okay, let's go on to the next part of how we might use this move, and that is in combos. So that was frame traps, that was how to get it to be a combo starter or to counter hit with it. We can also use it as part of our combos, and this is where it can get quite interesting, or I hope so. So first off, it's only really useful on low launches, like ones where their character's quite low to the ground, like an upward 1 I suppose. Upward 1 you can get all different kinds of things of course, but an easy option is just something like that. It's not optimal, because you could do something like that quite easily to get more damage, or of course you can do the, oh you get it, and you can even do things like that if you're fast. Come on. Oh, game, you're embarrassing me in front of my fans, my friends. Yikes. I swear, guys. I swear. Okay, whatever. We're not in the video to do Hellbringers. So it's also an easy option of something like counter hit wipe the floor, where you recover crouching, where you're going to be doing a lot more damage than the panic or the delay, something like that, or fewer hits at least. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, not optimal, but that is a use for it. I guess we should talk about what combos you can do off it itself. So I showed before, you can kind of do those low hitting combos as well. Down 2-3. I always like the down 2-3 routes. Gives you plenty of time to confirm the X's. Okay, what else can we talk about? Alright, I wanted to talk about some interesting Oki with this move. So, we've talked about using it in combos, we've talked about using it in frame traps, but what about Oki? And this is where I think we can get even more interesting. So what about using it to reset a combo? I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this, but it's not that hard to do. You just have to be able to do the combo. Oh, actually, yeah, we should talk about the, how to do it. So, you have to do it from crouch, like that, right? You can do it from Nina's crouch dash, or just a duck, and you can get the move to come out instantly. So if you do the crouch dash into it, you can increase the range of it. So if you are wanting to get a bit more range there, you can do that. You just got to be careful, because if you get the timing wrong, you'll get a while standing one. So why is this valuable as a reset? If we do this, and they tech, you're still at frame advantage. Let's record this to actually prove it. So, yep. Let's try a 12 frame, okay? What am I doing? I did a 10 frame and it didn't work. Let's try and just attack reverse. I don't have time to attack reverse, okay? Oh, I do. There you go. So this can be teched in both directions, but it's kind of one of those weird ones to tech. And yeah, she's left at frame advantage because it's with recovery is pretty good. So that's a use you can do for it. You can do. You just got to get used to doing the crouch dash into it. Yikes. I mean, that's still reset, didn't it? And then you can use it as a combo reset. So I think that's a fun little application of it. Last thing. I always go to a world stage for the last thing because I want to talk about wall stuff. And this is another thing. This is a thing I've been saving for a while. And I think I might have shared with a few people, but sharing is caring. Let's spread the knowledge. Let's help people know more scary things to do with Nina. When it comes to wall Oki, it's not like she's really lacking, but it's a nice idea to always have more stuff in mind. So if we go restart position wall. Now I'll stress this isn't incredibly strong or anything. This isn't going to be game changing for anybody, but it's always useful to know. If you end a combo on down 3, you're -3, but they're on the ground. It's not like they can do anything very fast. While standing back 1 is going to catch anything they do except stay grounded. So if we'll go through every option quickly and I'll show you what I mean. If they tech, they still have to block it. So you're only at minor frame disadvantage. If they quick recovery, you get a wall hit. If they quick back roll, that's that. I showed wake up backward, didn't I? Oh, there is an option that can beat it actually. Well, there are a few. You'll see. And I'll show you what you can mix it up with. So side roll it doesn't beat, but once again you recover faster, so it's not like you're at a disadvantage. It's just the damage you've lost. Mid kick, counter hit. So counter hit, of course, full combo of your choice. Alright, that one doesn't work. But you can still do things like... yeah. Low kick, same deal. Recovery kick, we lose. So we eat that damage. We take that damage. I mean, that's at the risk of if you just block low, then you get a free wall splat. Spring kick you beat. And hold on, the spring kick, I think you get a free option as well. Yeah. But I think you can get more than that. It's like, no, okay, that doesn't work. Maybe an ivory cutter? Yeah, you can get an ivory cutter. Yeah, so you can see it can beat all those options. So it beat everything except for side roll and recovery kick. But if we change how we end our combo, we can beat all of these options, but not these options. And you can also, if you want, if you know they're going to do that, one, you could end like that, because that'll beat every option except the tech. Or like I said, you can just wait for the read and use the appropriate action. Oh, that wasn't even the one. Here we go. And get a wall splat. But if we want to beat every single thing there, another way we can do it is we can have a different ender that leaves us crouching. So that. The fun thing about doing that is not only will it beat every option here, it actually beats no option. Yeah. So it'll hit them if they just stay grounded too. Yeah. So it loses the teching. They can only beat it by teching. But that's where you can start mixing things up. So it's a very easy way you can choose this or that depending on how the opponent acts in general. So you can either end in the down 3 and do that and it'll catch everything except for them staying on the ground, slow side rolling, or the recovery kick, toe kick. Or you can do that ender and then it'll beat everything except tech rolls. So that's some application on how to use this move. That's application in many scenarios on how to use this move. So I hope you have more helping hand in your game. Let's go on to a summary. So to conclude things on Nina's helping hand, it is a 14 frame startup mid counter hit launcher that is performed as while standing back +1. So you need to be in crouch to perform it. You can either be starting in crouch, quickly press down and then perform it, or you can do a crouch dash and cancel into it. It reaches, well, it does about 13 damage, and it reaches from about range 2. It tracks to Nina's weak side, so the opponent's sidestepping right or Nina's sidestep left, and depending on the frame advantage, it can catch them sidestepping left, but they can generally sidewalk left unless you're at a very high frame advantage. It can be used to frame trap the opponent if you've got frame advantage and you're crouching. It can be used in combos, it can be used to reset combos, it can just be used as a safe poke in general on the read as a read on the opponent, and it can also be used for a variety of wall oki and just general oki in general. General oki in general, due to the low risk of the move. The greatest risk being that you can step it and you can sidewalk it left quite consistently. Alright. How do you do you use helping hand in your gameplay? Do you think it's a strong move? Did you even know it existed? It's in the move list, just not many Nina players use it, so if you're new to Nina you might not be too familiar with it. Anyway, let me know how you apply the move to your game, and I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.
You win.
What's done is done.